Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Blades in the Dark rules by Evil Hat Productions. This actual play is performed by adults and contains adult themes. Our Duskwall is intended for adults, and so listeners should pay close attention to all listed content warnings. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. And now, on to the heist.
Welcome back to another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I'm Miranda, and today we are back for our last session of Blades in the Dark, at least for now. We'll see how things go. I make no promises or guarantees. Before we get into character introductions, I just want to say again, thank you to our listeners, whether you're human, ghost, vampire, demon, otherwise. We certainly appreciate your listening ears. Our crew has just completed a job and will soon be moving on to downtime. But first, let's meet the members of the press gang to my right.
Hi, this is John, and I play Musket, the team's hound, and I'm fine. I have nothing to worry about, and I didn't sacrifice my dignity and my entire reputation to survive.
Yes, I'm sure we all came out of that unscathed. To Musket's right.
Hi, this is Jake, and I'm playing Spanner, the team's leech, and that didn't go as planned. No.
I mean, it went exactly how I planned, so I don't know about you guys, but it went great for me. At the end of the table.
This is Lonnie. I'm playing Strix, the group's cutter, and I guess the journey was about the friends we made along the way, and I think I've still got one with me.
Oh, you definitely do. We'll get back to that in a minute. And to my left.
Hi, I'm Mare, and I am playing Lark, our spider, and she's a little stressed out, so she's going to need a shopping montage real bad.
Yes, we all have our vices. And last but certainly not least.
Yeah, hi, this is Mike. I am playing Jen, our slide, and if you could distill stress into a goblet and drink it, Jin would have had a few rounds already.
And then our crew would likely use that as a bomb in a flashback, a distilled stress bomb. So we find ourselves having finished up this job, well, running away from this job. You did complete it. You delivered the package as promised. You ensured that Lord Skurlock was at his manor when it was delivered. You may be questioning your vampire theory from earlier, and you are running away from Skurlock Manor. At one point, or probably a few points along the way, you have to stop because Strix is vomiting up this thick black liquid. And Strix, every time you bend over and heave, and this black Icarus liquid comes out of your throat, you hear a little voice in the back of your head say, well, that's not good at all. I'm sorry about that. That's my fault.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I want you to remember that.
Well,
take that with you to the afterlife.
No, there is no afterlife for us. I'd rather be here with you. And as you heave again, and I'm sorry about that. If you just let it happen, it'll get easier.
Phrasing? Do we not do phrasing anymore?
I'm unfamiliar with this term that you say, phrasing, but I'm sorry. I'll be in touch always with you here.
Joy.
You guys just hear Strix vomiting and then saying things like, are we not doing phrasing anymore? And throwing up some more and saying joy, which really, out of context, honestly, it sounds fine. Like, that really just feels like a normal thing that would happen.
I think maybe he has a concussion. That's probably about my worst of my worries.
There were a lot of bombs that went off, yes.
Yeah, I feel like... Look, give him a day or two and see if he's still doing it then.
And you get out of Six Towers. And are you heading back to the bar? Are you heading to the barge? Where are you guys heading to kind of recoup?
I think we ought to go back to the barge. I'm deeply concerned that we my pal over there's got ghosts in his blood, and we have to figure out how to solve that with some cocaine. I don't know, just...
And my ankle hurts still, like limping along, making a bit of a deal about it. Like, ow, oh, if only I had a shoulder to lean on.
I like the thought of Lark making a bigger deal about the sprained ankle than Strix is about vomiting up demon blood and hearing ghosts in their head.
This could ruin the world tour.
I certainly can't let Lark hobble herself back alone. And so I'll play the gentleman's part and make sure that we don't look like we're, one of those crews.
And you make your way back to the barge to recoup, kind of get yourselves together. The Hive agent that you met with, I believe, did say that he would know when the job was completed. And it is likely that he will be planning on eventually meeting you in the same location as before, which is kind of your main business operation at the tavern.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the reason we're going there. Like, I think, Musket is still just like fucking set up. That's what it was. He fucking knew what was going to happen.
So you head back to your barge hideout. Are you, I have to say the G very hard because of the difference between bar and barge. So you head back to your barge hideout and kind of recoup yourselves, get yourselves cleaned up. I feel like the press gang is the kind of group that wants to put on a good front. And so even though this was a harrowing experience and some of you are left singed and some of you are left puking up demon blood and one of you has rolled your ankle and a lot of bombs have gone off, that you would want to get yourselves put back together before you meet up with your contact. Is there anything else you would be doing at your hideout before you kind of go to get your payoff?
I mean, probably having a congratulatory drink. But other than that, honestly, I'd like to get the rest of our pay and I'd like to be in one piece when we do it.
Staying alive would be ideal. I think Musket's just going to kind of sulk. He's really fucking annoyed.
Yeah. So you can do your sulking, can do your getting yourselves back together, and then after a period of time, set up a meeting with this Hive agent at the bar, which is where you kind of usually do your business dealings. And when you head there, you kind of head inside and your man behind the counter will just nod at you and nod upstairs. It's kind of that universal signal of, hey, someone's up there waiting for you. You have kind of developed this relationship with the bartender here to where he doesn't even really have to communicate with you. He knows what you're here for. He keeps an eye out for you. He will warn you if something bad is going down or if you need to stay out or kind of what's going on. You kind of have this really close relationship with him, and you maybe don't even ever speak to him, but you have developed this rapport and this other means of communication and this mutual respect between you. And so he kind of indicates to you that, yes, there's someone upstairs in your usual spot waiting for you.
Yeah, I mean, head upstairs and nod to our tavern owner friend, but certainly be careful, especially given the circumstances surrounding this delivery, the unsaid information.
Yes, and you head upstairs and you see the same kind of hairless, well-dressed man sitting with his legs crossed. He's sipping on a drink, and when he sees you come up, he immediately stands up and kind of puts his arms out, and he's like, you made it! You did it! You delivered the package, and you're all here now.
Surprising, isn't it?
I wouldn't have hired you if I didn't think that you could do it.
And you're in the regular sort of basis of not describing the specific details, like the occupant, the owner of the man's demon.
It was a surprise.
Surprise, our fee just went up.
I could neither confirm nor deny that he was a demon.
Our fee just went up.
That's understandable. I thought you may be in a sour mood after I heard and saw the remnants of what happened. Did he like his present, though?
He laughed a lot, whatever that may mean with it.
That's That's good, I think.
Well, he laughed a lot and then turned into a demonic entity. Big teeth, everything like that. Kind of became a bit of smoke. It was entirely terrifying. So whether or not that means he enjoyed it and got to have a good day, like, are you friends? Is this what you do to friends? Is that what you are?
Sometimes. I mean, friends play games, friends do jokes, friends send each other fun presents. And this was just, I think, a fun present for him, I felt.
What was the last present he gave you, then? Curiously. Just, trying to understand.
It's just a fun way that we keep each other in check, that we both know that the other one is there and could pose a threat to each other. It's a system of checks and balances amongst friends. But I do understand that you may be upset that I didn't tell you sooner. Honestly, I'm very surprised that you stuck around for the bomb to go off. How are the ghosts?
Gone?
I'm going to look directly at Lonnie's character.
I puke on the floor.
Oh, that's not good. You weren't supposed to be there or touch them. Oh, and he kind of like steps away, grossed out by it, and gets out a kind of a handkerchief and covers his mouth. I'm sure that you can find someone to get that out of you for you. And the arachnomoths, did that part work?
The what?
Arachnomoths?
We didn't stick around for them. No, didn't stick around to see those go off.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm surprised that you stuck around for any of it at all. I thought I was hiring delivery people, but I suppose you went the extra mile to stick around and make sure that the job was done. We previously agreed upon 6 coin, correct?
Certainly for one demon less job.
Ah, yes, 1 demon less job. Well, I would be willing to part with a couple extra coin for your troubles. 8 coin?
8, eh?
Yes, 8 coin. That's a big score. That's some serious loot.
It'll probably cost us at least 2 coin to unspook our friend. So that seems like a bit of a wash, right?
Well, we could call it an even 9.
9's an odd number, don't you think?
We could all call it an odd 9.
Fine, 9.
9 it is. Okay, and he'll kind of pull an extra few coin worth of things out of his pockets and put them in the pouch with the loot that he is giving you and kind of toss it to you as he does not want to get any closer to Strix.
We should make Strix pick it up, but I won't.
Well, I will say this has certainly put you in good favor with the Hive. We were all very impressed with your work, that you were able to get it in and so stealthily and while he was there, and that you really stuck around to see the job through. So that has improved your standing with us, absolutely. I cannot say the same for Lord Skurlock, though.
Oh, no, I don't imagine he's happy at all.
No, I think he's been asking around about you, so I would just be cautious about that. I don't think you'd want to attract too much of his ire.
Well, I'll collect the coins. I'd say then our business is concluded.
Absolutely. If there's anything else that we need from you in the future or any other offers that we have for you, I'm sure that we can find you here.
Or in and amongst many different places within the city.
So not one location then?
No.
Fantastic. I'm glad to see you're diversifying. And he'll kind of finish his drink and put it down. And if there's nothing else to be said here, then I will be off. And thank you again. This will certainly enhance your reputation.
Musket is obviously scowling and staring daggers at this guy the whole fucking time. He's just like, watching him drink, watching him just like, you'll never see me coming. Just, that's all he can think. He's just like, you're never going to see me coming. I'm going to get you. But not today. Just eventually.
And this job certainly has increased your status with the Hive and decreased your status with one Mr. Lord Skurlock, though he may even be persuaded to think that it was a impressive feat himself. You will also earn 2 rep per score by default. Because this score was a higher tier than you by 2 tiers, then you get an extra 2 reps. So that would put you at for gaining 4 rep for your crew. And in addition to that, you've received your payoff of your coin, because we're kind of shifting into downtime now. So our payoff has happened and you've received your rep. The next is heat. So how much heat has your crew generated? And luckily you had a lot of heat and you cleared it all out last time. So that's nice to see. Would you say that this was a smooth, quiet, low exposure job, a contained job, a loud and chaotic job, or a wild with devastating exposure job?
I think this is probably a wild and chaotic job, in the sense that, like, sort of how it eventually spun out. Like, there's an explosion, we ran from the place. I mean,
Caught the Sturlopurlock estate on fire.
Yeah.
I think anything where we set off multiple bombs is not classifiable as, strictly speaking, contained.
I mean, it could have all been contained to one room. We just didn't stick around to find out.
So I would agree that this is likely a loud and chaotic or high exposure job. And because the opponent was a high profile or well-connected target, that will add 1 heat as well. So that will be a total of 5 heat, because no killing was involved, because we aren't counting ghosts and you aren't at war with anyone. So we will call it 5 heat. And I'm not going to count it as hostile turf either. This is kind of a neutral location.
We were invited in. That can't be hostile.
We used vampire rules because we thought he was one.
Vampire, demon, potato, potato. So I'll roll for entanglements based on kind of where your heat and wanted level are. Ah, yes. Well, this actually makes sense. So I rolled on the entanglements of 5, which is reprisals or unquiet dead. And so reprisals would be an enemy faction makes a move against you, which, I mean, that could work, but also unquiet dead I like as well, which is that a rogue spirit is drawn to you, perhaps a past victim. You need to acquire the services of a whisper or a railjack to attempt to destroy or banish it, or deal with it yourself. I like to think that Strix, in drinking this demon blood, having a ghost attached to him, has become a sort of beacon of sorts. A beacon for ghosts and for the undead. Now, usually in Duskfall, when someone dies, a bell rings out and crows will indicate the location of the dead body. And spirit wardens will come out and collect the body so that they can cremate the body into electroplasm before a ghost can form. Otherwise, if a body stays dead for too long and doesn't have this happen, their ghost will come back. And so some factions may do this as an extra punishment, kill someone and make sure that their ghost comes back so that they are tormented. Or you can question a ghost, so that's good too. You may kill someone and then want to talk to their ghost. So there are still ghosts in the world that we have to deal with. And I think that Strix has become a beacon for these ghosts. And as he's kind of sitting and going about his business, you're at the bar, he's racked by these vomiting fits, but there's also just constant noise in his brain, asking him questions, telling them to telling Strix to take them somewhere, asking him, I just need to find it. And it's nonsense. It's a lot of nonsense. It's lost and you need to find it. You have to get it back. You have to find them. And just getting all of these different overlapping directions. Who did it? Find them. And just yelling at you. It's deep. It's dark. It's deep. And it's cold and it's quiet, and just overlapping voices bombarding Strix's mind. It's perhaps even people that Strix himself has wronged and killed and are asking, why did you do it? And telling you how the knife felt when you slid it into their back.
Well, those I don't mind so much because that means I did the job correctly.
The book. You have to find the book. The book. Just all of these nonsense voices in your head. People crying and screaming and a lot of vomiting.
I would like to find some way to reduce this kind of external clutter, shall we say. But I don't particularly know anybody who's really into that sort of thing. Can I go talk to a contact and maybe find somebody who owes somebody a favor who, for a small amount of possessions, will help me with this problem?
Yeah, and some of your companions may also have some contacts that would be able to help as they see their friend and member of their crew racked with the ghost sickness.
Yeah, Muska would absolutely lean on his contact Mekvir, the physician, to be like, look, I got a buddy who's been possessed. No, it's not me asking for a friend. It's actually a friend. Well, it's a co-worker. But no, he's a friend. Yeah, he's got it pretty bad. What would you do you know a specialist? Could I get a referral? A letter of introduction?
Yeah, I know I know a whisperer. They're not the kind of person that you usually consort with.
Look, this guy and I are pretty tight, so I'm willing to take the step. It's not a big deal. Besides, my reputation's already in shit from somebody talking about me buying those fucking herbs.
Yeah, I've been meaning to tell. Yeah, you still owe me for those.
Look, Melvik, we're very good friends.
So I think buying is just a real generous statement to make.
Look, I did get paid for it, so I can give you some. I can give you some of what I owe you for the games last week and the price of those. So that's fair, I think. He's just kind of like, ugh, fucking prick would bring up money. He knows I'm in deep with him.
I know a whisperer named Carissa Helker. You can probably find her down by the docks. I can show you where to go, but she's really, I don't know. Once you have dealings with her, she tends to stick around.
There's kind of a pregnant pause between them, and he's just like, when you say stick around, I mean, do you mean like Unlucky Penny, or?
Yeah, kind of like that. She's gonna try to make your business her business.
And he's been looking all week. He's been getting like no leads. He's just like thinks of Strix. He's like, fine, she'll do. Just, yeah. Here's what I owe you for those herbs, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Here's her information.
Yeah, I had a feeling I wouldn't get one till I gave the other. Yeah, all right. So I'm just like gonna head back to the barge and just tell Strix, it's like, okay, so I got somebody who might be able to help you. Should be able to help you. She's apparently a bit weird, but should be game.
Well, thanks. I mean, I was gonna go talk to my friend and see who owed her money that I could, pay off, but, sure.
He's just like, no need. You've covered my back more than once, so I figured time to return the favor a little bit.
Thank you.
He's just like, we have to go down to the docks, though. It's gonna be, it's a little shady. Just a bit. Like, you know the deal. I mean, you're a big boy. I know you can take care of yourself.
I take a very pointed look around the barge.
No, it's just that there's lots of people there rather than the caliber of people. Quantity has a quality all of its own, as they say. You know, that phrase, whatever.
Now imagine doubling that.
Yeah, I can see how that would be an issue. Well, whenever you're ready, I'm happy to go with you and get this sorted.
I motion him to the door because I want this done as quickly as possible.
If no one else is in the barge, I'm happy to leave a note for the rest of the crew being like, heading to this place with Strix, gonna see about getting his ghosts fixed.
Perfect.
You head there and you kind of have to weave down these alleys and along the sides of various canals, and you find yourselves outside this kind of small door, and you feel like this is probably the place, and so you knock and the door opens, and inside is this kind of stout, weathered woman that she doesn't look physically cold, like she's not shivering, but she looks like if you got close to her or touched her, that there would be a chill. Like she looks like she has been drained of kind of the warmth of life, and she kind of opens the door a bit. And who are you? Who sent you? What can I do for you? What do you need? Oh, you do not look good, sir.
And Musket was about to talk, like he literally has just turned with his hand towards Strix, and his mouth is just opened. He's like, oh, well, you figured it out.
She kind of steps out and she grabs Strix and kind of pulls his head up and looks in his nose and looks in his mouth and kind of like tries to put a finger in his mouth.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Like, what are you? Whoa, does some of the bile come up?
Yeah.
And she's not thrown off by that. In fact, she kind of gets out a vial and kind of fills it up, and she even kind of pats your back and puts this container under your mouth. Oh, yeah, how many do you have in there? 7, 8? She pulls out this lens and puts it over one of her eyes and closes the other eye and starts to look you over. It must be very loud in there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me over their voices?
I hear you fine. They're kind of quiet.
Okay. Why don't you come inside and I can fix you up?
Okay.
I'm gonna lead you inside. And the walls are kind of covered in these different, very dusty trinkets. She collects them because she thinks they look arcane and cool, but it's like a fucking antique shop. And there's a lot of like empty bird cages and mirrors and hat stands and hats, and there's just garbage on the walls, along with like dried herbs and dried flowers and things. And she'll lead you into kind of this one single room that serves as like kitchen, living room, bedroom. She kind of just has like a cot on one side, and it smells of boiling and burning herbs and meats that it smells gamey. It's not like a chicken or a beef, or it's some sort of meat cooking that you can smell. And she'll just, okay, just lay down. I guess you can lay on the cot. Try to keep your liquids inside of you, if you can.
I'm looking around and I'm just kind of like, it's probably good Lark's not here.
Is this like a hoarder's cot?
I'll move some of the stuff off of it. These are all very important arcane implements. Very dangerous. Do not touch them yourself. Any of them could be haunted at any point in time.
I'm looking at some of them and I'm like, this isn't arcane. This is just garbage. This is just a bunch of bones. They're not even tied together.
Ancient magics are here in my workshop. So it'll be 3 coin. I take payment up front.
We're going to have to go halves, buddy.
That's fine.
We're just both kind of like, okay, I guess. Our personal shares of this have just dipped dramatically.
If there was a way for me to levitate off of this bed, I would do so, because I assume it's not very well kept.
It's not. And as you're thinking that, she'll say, you there, sir, with the gun, tie him down.
Sorry, buddy. I guess it's part of the procedure. I'm going to pretty firmly tie him. I'm like, this bed... The issue isn't my knots. The issue is that he can pull this bed frame apart. It's just like, I mean, he's a big hunk of man. This isn't going to help. It doesn't matter. Just as long as this moves things along.
She'll give you kind of a leather belt and tell you to bite down on this if it hurts too much.
I'm not putting it in my mouth because I have a tendency to throw up when things end up in there. You know. She wanted me to keep the fluids in.
Oh, your choice. All right, now this is not for the faint of heart, so feel free to close your eyes or look away, or sir, if you need to step out, that is understandable.
Do you mind if I smoke my pipe while I watch?
That's fine as well, as long as you're sharing.
He just like takes a little bit of his tobacco and he's just like leaves it on the counter. He's just like,
Now, she begins to attune to the ghost field so that she can sense and see nearby ghosts and other things that cannot be seen to the to your living eyes. And as she does so, she reaches her arm into Strix. You see her arms, both of them, disappear inside Strix. And she begins making this motion like she's ripping things out of him. And Strix, it is horribly painful to feel as if someone is ripping life force out of your body, that there is being something torn away, not physical, but still a part of you. And she is just ripping piece after piece out of you. And at one point you're like throwing up, you're trying not to bite the belt. You maybe even float in and out of consciousness as she rips these ghosts out of you.
I just remind myself that if this doesn't work, I'm going to tear both of them limb from limb.
And she is like grabbing objects off the wall as she's doing these. And it's like she's shoving the ghosts into these different garbage objects that she's pulling off of the walls. And then she's just handing them to you, Musket.
Musket's got like a canvas sack, and he's just like taking all this junk, where his pipe is just like puffing away slowly, just holding the bag mouth open. He's like, hope none of these break or anything. That would be bad.
Every once in a while, she reaches over with one arm to get the pipe from you so that she can puff on it as well, and then hands it back to you and goes back to trying to extricate these ghosts from Strix. But eventually the kind of emotional levels of the room die down as she seems to have extricated all of the ghosts from Strix's body. And she'll kind of begin to untie him.
Oh, good. This bag is pretty full. I'm just going to leave it over. And he just kind of looks at all the junk in the little hovel, and he's like, I'm just going to leave this bag right here. And he like puts it on top of a precarious pile.
And she'll start to like take stuff and look at it and put it in special places on the wall. And she'll kind of talk to each one of these objects. And we'll say, you're welcome to come back anytime that you need more assistance.
Well, that'll be, no offense, but hopefully we won't have any need. This was just a bit of bad luck that got us today.
Oh, I'm sure I'll be seeing you again.
Thinks back to what his buddy said, and he's like, yeah, I hope that's just, God damn it.
And you are free to go about your way, free of your ghosts. But you do still keep the trauma haunted, by the way. That doesn't go away. And I'm assuming you head back to the barge to kind of regroup with everyone and possibly get a little bit of downtime between jobs. As you're both headed back to the barge, you hear a slight noise behind you, and before you can react, someone grabs you from behind and pulls you into an alleyway. It doesn't feel like the pull of someone that is trying to rob you or kill you, for that matter. This is the pull of something that of someone that is desperate, someone that very obviously needs your help. And as you turn around, you see in front of you a man that you would all recognize as Wick. Con man, thief, skulk, scoundrel, Duskfall's most wanted man, and he looks like he is in some serious trouble right now. And with pleading eyes, he says to you, I know that both of you have your own reasons for wanting me dead, but I've got a lot of information on a lot of people, a lot of secrets that are worth killing for, and I'm willing to share them all with you if you can just get me out of town. And that's where we'll cut for tonight, our game of Blades in the Dark. This is our final episode for this short scenario. In case I haven't mentioned it before, both of the heists that we ran were from Hour of Silk. It's a collection of unofficial Blades in the Dark scores. There's a couple of these that have been put out, and I think if you're new to Blades in the Dark, that these are a really good reference to help you come up with ideas for scores. We certainly hope you enjoyed listening to our little playthrough of Blades, an amuse-bouche, if you will, an appetizer of Blades in the Dark. And if you liked it, let us know, and maybe you'll hear more from us in the future. Thank you again for your listening ears, and we'll see you on the next train out of Duskfall.